Hey guys, so today we're going to be continue working with fractions, but instead of adding and subtracting, we're going to be doing a bit of division. So I'm super excited. The first thing that I want you guys to know and understand is how to read these expressions. So the first one, it may look a little crazy and different, but once you understand it, it's going to click. All right, so the first things first, we've got 1 divided by 7. We all know that this symbol here means divided by. All right? And I want you to connect this symbol with our fraction here. As you see, I have pointed to the line that is dividing our two numbers. So we're going to say it the same way that we have said 1 divided by 7. Our line here also represents divided by. So we've got 1 divided by 7 and 1 divided by 7. All right? So we're going to use this as another example. We've got 21 divided by 8. If I was going to make this into the fraction and complete our expression, I would need to put a 21 on top and an 8 on the bottom. So this is the same thing as the example that we just did. We've got 21 divided by 8 and 21 with our line representing divided by 8. All right? So now with this 7 divided by 4, we're going to complete the expression by filling in the division problem. Since I've already stated it's 7 divided by 4, we know that our 7 will go on our first line, and our 4 will go on the second line, completing our expression. So this is an introduction to what we'll be working with today. So this first example is going to be on your homework. So our first problem, we've got 1 divided by 5. And the one thing I need you to know and remember is that we've got to use diagrams or pictures to model in order to help us understand how we're getting to our answer. All right? So we already know that we could make the fraction 1 over 5, but I want you guys to understand how we get to that. All right? So, as I said before, we're going to be using a diagram to model how we've come to this answer of 1/5. So, to represent our 1, I'm going to draw one box. And we are dividing our one box into 5 pieces. So let's just say we've got one big cracker, and we've got to divide this cracker into 5 pieces to be able to share it evenly with all of our friends. So in order to do that, I'm going to partition or divide this into 5 pieces. And I'm going to do this with a different color marker so that you can see the partitioning. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right? So we know this is 1, so we know that this is going to create a whole. All right? But we've got to figure out the part that completes our whole. So we've got 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5 that create our whole. So on your homework, you've got to write out your expression. So we know that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5/5. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. 5/5. All right? And we know that we're dividing that 5/5 by 5. All right, so I'm going to continue by dividing that by 5. we already know that we've made the problem easier because 5 divided by 5 is very simple. 5 divided by 5 we know is 1. So we've got 1/5. And then the last thing we've got to do is write out our fraction. 1/5 is equal to 1/5. So now, using our diagram, we have seen how we've gotten this answer. So it's very important that you use models to figure out your answer. All right. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but it's just with the word problem. All right, our problem says using a picture, which we just did in our last problem, show how 6 people could share 4 sandwiches. All right, so the problem that we've got to solve is 4, which represents our sandwiches, divided by 6 because we've got to share that with 6 people. So I've already drawn out my 4 sandwiches to begin our diagram, all right? And we know that we're dividing that once again by 6. So we've got to divide everything, each of these 4 boxes, by 6, all right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? And the same thing that we did last time, we're going to count how many of these 6 that we have all together. So we've got 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, 6 6, 7 6, 8 6, 9 6, 10 6, 11 6, 12 6, 13 6, 14 6, 15 6, 16 6, 17 6, 18 6, 19 6, 26, 21 6, 22 6, 23 6, and 24 6. All right? So, same thing that we did last time. I'm going to write out 24 6, and we're dividing that by 6. And once again, we've got that easy problem, that easy math. 24 divided by 6, we know is 4, correct? All right? So we know that 24 6 divided by 6 is equal to 4 6. Okay? Now, when we write that out as our fraction, we've got 4/6. And that's how we're going to be working these problems out. If you draw your diagram, it's going to be very easier for you to get to your answer. All right? So, everything that I just went over is going to be on your assignment for Monday. So this assignment will be due Tuesday. All right?